doesn't like a nice tape echo? I remember way back when I first started playing, had to be late 70s, first time I heard one. There was a kid at a jam I was at, and he had a mechanical tape delay. I'd never even heard a delay before. And I think it was an Echoplex, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, this thing sounded incredible. Um, I'd never heard or seen anything like it, and I was just like drawn in by the mechanicalness of it, the tape, the heads on the tape. It made noise. I seem to remember like you could hear it when we stopped playing. Um, and it was just had the coolest sound. I always wanted one. I never got one. I've never owned a tape delay. They were just priced out of range for me, and as a kid, and then as an adult, got I've had delays as pedals, and then delays built into multi-effects units. Used them extensively, but never owned a tape delay. So I've always had like a simulation of that. And I have to say that this Zodiak Echo by Yonac is as close as I think you can get to a real one without owning a real one. And it runs right on your iPad. Like, how great is that? So um, I want to also throw out there that this was sent to me as a promo code. My review of this is going to be my honest opinion, just so you know. It's not a sponsored video in any way. And here's even the best part. I've got another promo code, a copy of this to give away as part of this video. So leave a comment if you would, and then in a week's time, I'll put the date in the video description down below. I'm going to use a random comment picker, and one lucky person will win a copy of this. So make sure you do that. Anyway, I want to go over all the settings on this, and I also want to show you how I've integrated it in with Loopy Pro, because it runs as an AUV3. And then at the end of the video, I'll do a quick jam demo with some luscious tape delay, if you will. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's see how this thing works. So first of all, in the template I'm using, I'm running it as an AUV3. I'll show you my template setup here, because I think a lot of people are also interested in how this is working with Loopy Pro. Going left to right, I've got my Yamaha keyboard going in, but I'm not actually using it in this template. Next thing up is I'm running Loopy Pro as an AUV3 to control pop drummer, which I'm going to use for drums. None of that is related to what we're covering today, and I want to actually do a separate video on that. I'm using a template. I based my AUV3 template off of a template by Edward Spiegel, and I've modified it considerably to work with my MIDI pedal, but I'm getting way off task here. Anyway, over to the actual input that we're interested in is the guitar chain, and that is hardware input number 2. I'm going into ToneX, and I'm running a twin model, which you're not hearing by itself because I've got Zodiak Echo going. So that's the twin model by itself, and it's going into the Zodiak Echo after the amplifier, and that's how you want to run this if you're running it in ToneX. You want to run the Zodiak Echo after the amplifier, especially if you want to be able to use the stereo aspect of the tape delay, which you probably do. So let's get into this tape delay. When we come back, I'll talk about these controls I have on the screen that I'm using to control the tape delay from Loopy Pro. So let me turn on the tape delay. So I've got this button here that toggles tape delay long on and off, and then long press opens up the tape delay interface. I'll show you all that. Okay, so here's the tape delay interface. Let's work left to right. Starting from the bottom here, EC send. If we turn that off, we're just getting the dry signal. So that cuts off the tape delay, just dry signal. There's a couple of ways to cut this off. Turn this off. Actually, I think that's also getting the reverb, if I'm not mistaken. Let me try something. Yeah, it may still be getting the reverb. I think it is. Okay, so anyway, I want that on because I want my tape delay. Dry mute turns off the dry signal, and all you're getting is the output of the tape. And you might want to do that if you're using this as a bus effect. But I'm not, and I usually leave it set up just like that. Right above that, we've got our input volume and output volume. And you could use that to saturate. If you want to saturate the preamp of this, I typically leave those at 12 o'clock. You can also saturate the preamp with this preamp saturate button. Which sounds nice, but I like running it clean. All right, so now we get to the big dial, the most important control, actually. Let's start over here on 1. So this is a 3-head tape delay. That means that there's, if you can imagine, there's a tape running and there's 3 separate physical tape heads laying down a recording of the signal on one of them. Actually, I think it would be a total of 4, and then there's the 3 that pick it up. And don't quote me on that, but that's just how I think it would work. So then we've got the 3 heads that come after it. So on setting number 1 on the mode, we get tape head 1 only, and the time delay set for that, and I'll cover time delay in just a second. Setting number 2, we get tape head 2 only. 3 is tape head 3, and then setting number 4 is 2 and 3 together. Now there's also a built-in spring reverb in this unit, and those first 3 are just tape delay. Once you get to the next settings, you have the reverb on as well. So we're back to tape head 1, 2, 3, then we get the combinations 1 and 2, and reverb, 2 and 3, and reverb, 1 and 3, and reverb, and then it goes to 11, and all 3, and reverb, or you can just get reverb only, that tape delay off. And it's got a nice sounding reverb. Anyway, I like 11. So there's along the top here, you can see there is a preset banks. It comes with several presets. The one that we're listening to right now is my settings is the Gerge 3R, which is all 3 heads and reverb, hence the name, Gerge 3R. Okay, along the top to the right, this black section is the controls for the reverb. And there's 2 types of reverb, type A and type F. And A is just, to my ears, is a little bit brighter. I like it. And you've got bass treble for that reverb, and reverb volume and dwell, like the length of the tail. Gets a little extreme. I kind of like it like that. These are the settings that I came up with that work for me. Then right below that, we get repeat rate. So right in the middle, it's adhering to the time delays that are set there. And I think as you turn that, it changes all of them relative to those time delays. Next is the intensity. And if you go all the way down to 1, you get 1 repeat on up to repeating infinitely. And by the way, I seem to remember the unit that Kid had way back could do that. Echo volume is the volume of the repeats. Okay, so just below that is the sync switch. So with the sync switch on, this is synced to the beats per minute on the DAW or controlling app that's controlling it. In this case, it's Loopy Pro, set for 90 BPM. So 16th note, 8th note, quarter note are the delays on that, and you can adjust each one of those independently. As you can see, there is a full range. And if you turn sync off, you can adjust each one of them on to an individual time, so 90 milliseconds, 202, 360. I like having the sync on. And you've got low cut and high cut for the Echo, and wow and flutter, which simulate like tape wear, I guess. Or tape movement, machine wearing out. I'm not entirely certain like the definition of each one of those. You just gotta like try them out and find the settings that work for you. Because on the next page, there's also, let me just jump over there, tape, where was it? Tape age. So I'm not, and head drift. So I'm not really sure how those differ from wow and flutter, or like which ones, which is 4 settings there that you're going to work with that sort of circle around that same kind of effect in different ways, if that makes sense. Let's jump over to the next page. So, power on and off. So you can turn this off here and bypass it. But you can also do that with Loopy Pro by enabling it or disabling it. And that would be a better way to do it, because when you disable it in Loopy Pro, it kind of unloads it and reduces the load on the CPU. All right, so when we switch down to the next page, you can see that we have a pan for each of the heads. So I've got tape head 1 in the center, tape head 2 going to the left, tape head 3 going to the right. So you can get that kind of ping pong effect. You've got independent gains for each of the heads, and then tape variamp, hum. So if you want to simulate that gig you had where they had really lousy power and 6 refrigerators running off the same line as the band, been there. Yeah, you could do that. Sounds like this. All right. I don't like that effect. You got tape hiss, and then you got a tone control for those effects. For reverb, you can pan it, or you can also run the reverb in series or in parallel with the delay. I like to run it in parallel. Time ramp. Presence. And then here's that tape age again. So like new tape and old tape. Head drift, like are the heads drifting? And again, I'm not really sure how those differ from wow and flutter. I'm sure there's a technical explanation, but for me, I'm just playing it by ear and getting those set up the way I like them. Preamp saturation mode tone. Just going by ear on that as well. Mono clips. Not entirely sure what that does. And stereo feedback. Also not entirely sure what that does. So, all right, so that's the walk through this. Let's take a look at what I've got going on in Loopy Pro. So because it's an AUV3, we can control it from Loopy Pro. We can control those individual settings. And I'm actually going to open that up again. And let's restore that window size so that we can see these in action. So I'll show you in the Canvas editor how I've got this set up. Kind of disappeared on me. All right, so let's look at the on-off switch. So for that, I'm just toggling the Zodiak Echo on and off, and the long press, I'm toggling the user interface of the Zodiak Echo. That's pretty straightforward. That's actually not using much of the AUV3 aspect of this. Now, for the control the echo volume, let me open that up. For that, as soon as the value changes on that, I'm adjusting. Oh, let's go back. Zodiak Echo effect. Oh, clicking all over. There we go. Back. So I'm adjusting the echo volume control. And let me make this a little bit smaller, like so. And come out of the Canvas editor. And you can see here the echo volume is, as I move this control, it's adjusting it in there. So I don't have to open this to see that take place. Let me set that back to where it was. So then the reverb volume, same thing. I've got this control hooked in to adjust the reverb volume like so. No MIDI, no programming, just let me add the reverb volume back so you can see how that works. So I'll delete the reverb volume and then I'll add it back in. Okay, so that's a dial. I'm going to change the name of it to reverb volume. And then on the value change right here, I'm going to go down to adjust effect parameter. I'm going to pick this target, which is going to be the Zodiak Echo, and reverb volume. Choose that, and that's it. It's hooked up. So now, when I adjust that dial, you can see the reverb volume there getting adjusted. Put that back. Okay? So I've done that for the mode as well. You can see as I turn this, I can change the mode directly from Loopy Pro. Let's put it on 11. Same with the flutter. So that AUV3 integration and the ability of Loopy Pro to talk directly to that is killer. Like, if there's only a couple controls that you ever mess with, you can put those right on your control interface here, and you're all set. This last one over here is just a master volume control for Loopy Pro, so I can fade out. And I'll use that when we get going. So I hope I've covered enough of that for you in way too much detail. One last thing I want to cover, because this template has something kind of cool going on with it. I'm going to turn off the echo, because for the first part I won't be using the echo. Is the follow action of that first loop. So I got this tip from a guy named Dylan Peters, a YouTuber, and what he does to make an automatic bass effect is, after the initial record using a follow action, so I went into the clip to edit, I went to follow actions, finish initial record, and assign pitch. Okay, I'll back out of here. I'll delete that so you can see it. So after the initial recording, I'm going to click the plus sign, and then I'm going to go to adjust parameter, and the target is going to be this clip, and the parameter is going to be the pitch, and I'm going to bring that down to -12 semitones, 1 octave, and it's going to do it immediately. Okay, so as soon as that's done, that clip, this yellow one, is going to drop its pitch, 12 semitones, and I got to make sure. Yeah, so that was just that one. Okay, so when I play this clip, it's going to drop it down 12 semitones. Let's go out of that. All right, so cool. Let's do a quick recording and just hear how this thing sounds. So I'm going to start without echo. I'm going to do a guitar part that's going to become bass, and another guitar part, and then I'll hit the echo and just you'll hear it. Cool, man. So I hope that that was a solid demo for you. I hope you were able to, you know, figure out if that's something you're interested in. I definitely would love to give you a copy of this app if you leave a comment below. Just, whatever, you liked it, you didn't like it, you had one, you had the real one, you had something like it, or anything, and I'll use a random comment picker to pull that out. Please do me a favor, also subscribe to The Gurge. Uh, I got some more giveaways coming up, and love to have you participate in that. So thanks for watching.